We've all been there before. We're sitting at the bar or grooving in a club. And though the place is crawling with guys, our dance card doesn't have many names on it. It's easy to feel down on yourself, but there are actually plenty of practical reasons why your aura can intimidate the next bachelor. The truth is, being attractive can sometimes make approaching you feel even riskier. And that's just one of the reasons you might want to consider the next time you're out. 1. You're hard to interrupt. When you look deeply focused, a lot of men assume they're bothering you. Even a neutral expression can read as "not now," especially in a public setting where nobody wants to feel intrusive. That doesn't mean you're unapproachable, but it does mean fewer people will take the gamble. 2. You give off a self-sufficient vibe. Some women come across as so put together that insecure men talk themselves out of trying. Not every man considers confidence inviting. They take it as a sign that you've no patience for awkward conversation. Oddly enough, the more secure you seem, the more nervous guys become. 3. You're surrounded by other people. Approaching one person is nerve-wracking enough, but approaching them in a group can make it even worse. If you're often with friends or coworkers, a lot of guys will decide the setup is too uncomfortable to navigate. It's not personal. They just don't want their first sentence to land poorly in front of extra judges. 4. Closed-off body language. You may not notice it, but glances, crossed arms, and limited eye contact can signal disinterest. An unsure guy will often treat those cues as a clear warning. Keep an eye on it. Sometimes what feels normal on your end gets interpreted as a firm, "do not proceed." 5. Men assume you're already taken. Believe it or not, some men assume that you're already in a relationship. That guess becomes even stronger if you often mention plans, wear rings, or project a calm, established energy. Plenty of potential approaches die before they start, because someone fills in the blanks incorrectly. 6. They're afraid of public rejection. Let's be honest, men aren't just afraid of hearing no, they're afraid of public humiliation. Who isn't? Coffee shops, bars, gyms, and workplaces all come with witnesses, and that makes ordinary nerves feel much bigger. 7. Your attractiveness is intimidating. There's a kind of beauty that doesn't invite casual boldness. Why? Because it makes people second-guess themselves immediately. When a man sees someone he finds especially attractive, he may assume the competition is steep and that his chances are low. 8. The setting ruins the mood. Context matters more than people admit, and plenty of guys hesitate in the wrong environment. At work, during errands, or while you're clearly occupied, they may worry they'll come off as annoying rather than charming. So, they don't even bother. 9. You look like you won't tolerate nonsense. Don't worry, that's a compliment. Men who rely on lazy flirting or trial-and-error charm often avoid women who seem hard to impress. If you project high standards, you'll naturally filter out people who are never going to show up anyway. 10. The right men are careful. Not every interested man approaches a stranger with full confidence and a rehearsed line. The better ones are thoughtful and more likely to wait for a clearer sign before making a move. So if you're not getting approached, that could just mean the boldest men aren't always the best ones in the room. All that being said, there's no reason you can't take a little initiative to roll out the welcome mat. Let's dive into a few ways you can encourage more movement all on your own. 1. Let your expression look more open. No shade to anyone with a resting rude face, but that could easily be a warning sign to guys. A softer expression and warmer eye contact can make you seem more receptive. You don't have to grin all day, but looking approachable changes the first impression fast. 2. Take up more space. Men notice women who are comfortable being seen instead of trying to disappear. That can mean anything from standing tall and speaking clearly to moving like you belong wherever your feet land. Confidence gets more attention than forced boldness ever will. 3. Wear something that feels good. You don't need a dramatic makeover to stand out. All you need is one detail that feels intentional. It could be a color that suits you. It might be a polished jacket. It could even be jewelry that gives your look a little personality. 4. Make the first few seconds easier. A lot of men don't act because the opening feels too awkward. So why not help out? Lower that barrier by giving a small smile, lingering a second longer in eye contact, or responding kindly when someone speaks to you. That tiny shift can turn interest into actual action. 5. Be present. People are less likely to approach when you seem absorbed in your phone or mentally out to lunch. Looking engaged with your surroundings makes you seem more alive and easier to connect with. Remember, attention is attractive, and being present makes yours feel possible to earn. 6. Say what you think. Men remember women who stand grounded in their opinions. When you soften every thought, you can fade into the background, even if you're interesting. A clear point of view makes you easier to notice and harder to forget. 7. Bring warmth to small talk. No, you don't have to be the most outgoing person in the room. However, a little warmth goes a long way. When someone makes a comment, answering with real interest instead of a flat reply keeps the interaction alive. 8. Stop waiting to be chosen. Sometimes the fastest way to get noticed is to stop acting like your only role is to react. Walk over and introduce yourself, or make the first light comment when the moment is right. The pressure is already on guys to make the first move, so a bit of initiative stands out. 9. Show that you enjoy your life. There's something magnetic about a woman who's genuinely engaged in her own world. When you talk about your interests with real energy, you come across as fuller and more compelling. Men notice women who add something to life, not those who seem like they're waiting for life to begin. 10. Make your interest visible. Okay, we all know that a lot of men miss subtle signals. Sometimes they need a little nudge. You don't have to chase, but you do have to give interest enough shape to be recognized.